Alright, so it is time to wrap up my thoughts about the yarn subscription boxes that I have been unboxing over the last couple of months. I had subscribed to a Knit Crate box, which was the Artisan box, and I subscribed to the Yarn Yay by Vicky Howell. And I did it for about 3 months, although I'm still getting the Yarn Yay, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But I just want to kind of go over my overall experience with it so that you can know if that's something that you want to do in the future, and also just for my own self to be able to organize my thoughts about getting yarn in the mail every month. It was kind of amazing. So let's jump right in. Let's see. Let me look at my list. I made a little list because I'm a list maker of positives and negatives, although I'll warn you, I had to think really hard about the negatives. And they were only possible negatives, and we will get there. But my positive list, the very first thing is that it was really fun. I found it to be a good overall experience to be able to receive my yarn mail. It was something to look forward to. When I knew it was going to get delivered, I couldn't wait to see if it was at the mailbox or being delivered to the door, and to get it opened. Most of the time I ran right down here and would turn on the camera to be able to open it so that I could do my live unboxing, but also be able to see what was inside. The other thing that I really loved, besides kind of having a surprise every month, was building up my yarn stash. I ended up having to clean out one of my yarn totes that I have up on my shelf on the wall to dedicate just, clean out some trash, just to have a spot to put all of, there you go, all of the yarn that I was getting, so I could collect it, and also stick in all the little goodies that that came inside of the other boxes, other than yarn. So it was a really good way, and well, as you can see, I haven't used it all up yet. As it came, I wasn't going ahead and grabbing that yarn and knitting on or casting on or starting a new crochet, because I crochet too. I wasn't finishing everything that I was getting, and it actually inspired me to write a couple of my own patterns, because the yarn itself would lend a new idea into my head, and I would go, ooh, I know what I want to make with this, but it wasn't necessarily the pattern that was sent. I did experiment with a couple of the patterns, and you can see those videos too, if you'll go look for those. There was a hat that I tried that had a big bulky yarn, and I really didn't care for that too much. I think that was my least favorite yarn that I got. Perhaps I would have liked it better if I'd made something else with it, but I'm not sure. I think that was my least favorite yarn that I got. But I did also have a favorite, so, and I believe I titled it my favorite yarn box yet, so you can go watch that video too to see what that one was. But the other thing I really liked was the variety of yarns that I was getting. So because I had subscribed to the Knit Crate Artisan box, that one was coming with all like hand-dyed yarns. And then the Yarn-Yay boxes are also geared towards yarn producers that do hand dyeing and other techniques for the indie yarn people. And so I liked getting all these unique yarns, ones that I know that I can't go find in any of my local stores. And they also came from other locations around the United States. And so that's really fun to be able to experience all of these different types of yarns and different yarn blends. One that I really enjoyed was one of those, the first ones, which was the Daisy, the Knit One Crochet Two Daisy. And because this I don't think is something that I would ever buy for myself necessarily. It was the linen hemp blend. But I ended up writing a fingerless glove pattern, the 1x1 rib pattern, and it's for free over on the website. But I just really loved the way that it came out, and I still have some, and I'm not sure yet what I want to do with the little bit that I have left. But I really loved the texture of the fingerless gloves, and they're so comfortable, and so they're a really nice option for somebody maybe who wants a natural fiber but doesn't like the wool or animal fibers. It's not itchy or anything like that, and it seemed to hold up really well in my gloves. Let's see here. The other thing that's a little bit fun about these yarn boxes is it kind of connects you to a community. So, for instance, the Yarn-Yay, when you subscribe there, you get invited to a special Facebook group. I admit I didn't really participate all that much with it because I've been kind of weaning myself away from Facebook recently and focusing on other things, but to be able to have other people that are experimenting with the same yarn or seeing what they're doing was a good thing. For instance, I did go look to see what people were doing with one of the yarns and the patterns that I was trying, one of the beanies, and I was struggling with it, and I didn't know if it was just me or if it was the pattern, and it turns out it was me because there were other people that had success with that pattern. And I could have tried to do it all over again, but instead my creative brain went a different direction, and I once again was inspired to write my own pattern and use the yarn for that. So I didn't end up trying that, but it was nice to be able to go and look and see what other people were doing with the same yarns. And let's see, the last quick thing that I have jotted down for the positive side of subscribing to these two boxes was value. And I know that's important to a lot of people, and I was concerned about that. I wasn't sure if I would feel like what I was paying into it, that I was getting a good value in return. But I do not feel like I was jilted at all. I feel like every box was filled with a quality and an amount that equaled or surpassed the subscription amount that I was paying for each of these boxes. So I do feel like it is a good value. And I summarize that into also what everything else is that I just talked about being able to experience new yarns, and being able to just get something delivered right to your door. For me, I live about 40 minutes from my nearest yarn store, even a regular big box place. So for me, it really opened up a way to be able to build up my yarn stash and to not have to have an excuse of a project that I need a specific yarn for to go and purchase some yarn. So it really built up my natural fiber stash, and I wasn't overwhelmed too. Something else that I have a hard time with sometimes when I do get to go to either a big box craft store or a small little fun yarn shop is I don't know what to pick. I get so overwhelmed. Like when I went to Colorado and I did go into the Alpaca LLC, I have a yarn haul video about that, and you'll be able to see all the yarns I ended up buying if you go watch that. But I just wanted like everything without having an idea in mind of exactly what I was looking for. I didn't know what to pick out, so I just picked a few things that I liked, and I still haven't made anything with any of those, but I got a little bit distracted with these yarn boxes, so hopefully we'll dig into that here in the next couple months. But so overall, the value I feel is very worth it. I'm going to move on now into what I warned was my forced negative list. So we just talked about value, but on the flip side, a negative could be the cost if you don't have a budget such to be able to put aside that month. Now, that being said, most of these have the oh my goodness, tripping over my words here. Most of these have the availability of skipping a month or doing it even every other month. So you could still do it if you can't necessarily afford it every month. And you could also do something like what I did. Say, okay, I can do this for 3 months, and just set a time for yourself and then cancel. I know like with Yarn Yay, they're just getting going, and so sometimes the spots get filled. So if you really want to keep getting that, you might not be able to sign up for it again right away. You might have to wait for a spot to open up. By the way, I didn't cancel my Yarn Yay yet. And I'm not sure if I will. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But the other negative would be because we're not choosing the yarns ourselves, we might find yarns that we don't like what I talked about. I found a yarn that I didn't really care for. Or you might find that you get sent a color that's just not your color. So what do you do then? You've purchased this yarn. Well, that's where that community comes in too, is a lot of people were trading. You can trade if you got a colorway that you didn't like. You could try to resell it if you have some connections, or make something with it anyway. Make the pattern and then give it away as a gift. I know I'm turning this negative into how it could be a positive, and that's kind of just what I do. I like working with what I have. So, but I could see how that could rub the wrong way for some people. The other negative would be that if you don't set a limit for yourself of how many months you're going to get your subscription boxes, or how many subscription boxes you're going to allow yourself to subscribe to at one time, you could get yarn overload, meaning your stash could grow to beyond what you can even store or comprehend. It could put pressure on some to feel like they need to be knitting and crocheting with all of these yarns and completing all of these patterns. Depending on your personality, it might put that kind of pressure on you. So make sure that your space that you have to store things can handle it. Make sure that you are destashing, getting rid of yarns that you don't want. Make sure that you're not putting the pressure on yourself that you have to complete every pattern that comes in every box, or that you have to use every yarn right away. We don't want this to be a stressful thing. We want this to be a fun thing. We want to be able to be inspired to create and have fun with the surprises. So Will I keep doing it? I think I'm done with the Knit Crate. I only really was interested in their artisan box, and I tried that for a while, and it was good. I think I'm done with that for the moment. I have enjoyed Yarnier, although the Yarnier was the one where I got a yarn that I didn't really care for. But since then, I've liked all of them. And I think it's really affordable price-wise. So I'm not quite ready to cancel that one yet. I'm going to keep an eye on my budget, though. And let's see, am I going to subscribe to any new ones? I'm thinking about trying out some other boxes to be able to share unboxings and share my thoughts about them, but that depends on you, and that depends on your interest. I did notice that the unboxings got some views. I'm not getting a whole lot of people hitting that subscribe button, and that's what I really need you to do. I am about to launch a whole new vlog for this year. I'm starting a regular weekly vlog, and it is dedicated to my main mission. And my main mission is not to be a pattern writer. My main mission is not to do unboxing reviews. My main mission is to show other people who don't feel like they have a creative bone in their body, or they don't feel like they can work outside of the box of what they've already learned and press themselves to learn more or challenge themselves. My mission is to encourage you to discover all of your possibilities in the creative world. I believe creativity brings a lot of joy into our life. I believe that it gives us a sense of purpose. I believe that being creative is something that God designed for us to be able to be like Him. He created this beautiful world for us to live in, and you know, we can be so awe-inspired by everything we see, and we can use those materials that He gave us to further be creators from those things, and be able to contribute to our families and to the world in general. If you even are so inspired to find your own craft business from something that you get good in your art. But I just feel like creativity is something that is lacking in a lot of people's lives. I talk a lot more about that and my ideas behind it in my first vlog of the year. So please subscribe. And I'm going to get that going. I've already recorded it. I've already edited it. I haven't decided the exact day that I'm going to launch it yet. This was a video that I wanted to get out there first. And so please hit the subscribe and even the little bell so that you can be notified when that first comes out. The other thing that you can do is you can sign up to receive my Happy Mail. I just learned how to use MailChimp, and so I'm going to start trying to send out emails, and I'm going to email things first. So whenever I am launching something new, whether it be a new lesson, new course, a new pattern, a new vlog thought, whatever, I'm going to email it first, the special link, and you'll get a time period. I haven't decided exactly yet that time period, but those that are on my email list will get a time period where they are the very first ones to be able to view that, which means if I ever make any announcements for special coupons or prizes, you will have a leg up in that. So I would really, really love it if you'd sign up for the email and subscribe to this YouTube channel. But most of all, I just hope that I can reach as many people as I can to teach them, especially if they don't already know, that they... Do you hear those kids? Anyway, you'll hear about those kids too in my first vlog. I share a little bit about that. But where was I? I just wanted to wrap this up. So, be the best that you can be and be inspired every day to do something.